Hey y'all, Monk Joseph here with the Broken Buddha. Today is going to be a somewhat short video. I just wanted to put this down on video before I go any further. When I was going through my Wing Chun and Filipino martial arts training phase, you learn a lot of simplified things, being the four contact points, where to look, a lot of how to move, but everything is very minimalized down. You don't have a wide array of 10 years of curriculum to try to get down really quickly. So it really taught me to simplify things. And when I simplified things, what I did was I made this thing that I call the 9 rules of martial engagement. That number has changed, but it's very simple. The four contact points that you're taught from Wing Chun, where to look, how to turn, how to advance, how to retreat, um, and then how to elevate somebody else's emotional state. That's the ninth one is kind of tricky. I'm not going to get into that a lot, but I will do my best to articulate this as I can. So, in case you're unfamiliar, we'll just start with the four contact points to get the I call it plagiarized information right out of the way. But the Wing Chun stuff, when you study Wing Chun, there's only four places your arm can come into contact with somebody else's limb when bridging or in a street fight. And obviously, there's a million ways for this to occur. I'm just giving you the basic idea of this. Those four contact points are outside same, inside, inside opposite, outside opposite, however you come across it. And learning what to do in training and programming your brain and muscle memory to react to those four locations is what gives you, between that and the listening gin, is what's going to give you that like almost supernatural uh, looking ability in a street fight, because they don't understand you've put like 1,000 hours or 100 hours into your listening gin and or contact drills, pressure testing, whatever you want to call it these days. So that covers that. Doesn't matter what side you are, it's the same principle. Outside same, inside opposite, outside opposite. And I know it's the opposite arm if you're standing. I'm talking about when you're facing somebody. So those are your four contact points. Now, I picked up how to advance and how to retreat from my Filipino martial arts instructor. There's a million ways to do this, guys. Again, I'm not saying anybody's way is better. No, this is just what I found is the best. If you're really trying to gotta move fast, you gotta fight a lot of people. Your advance is actually coming out of silk reeling, out of a double block. And there's two ways to do this. And you can either come across here, um, going for as soon as you make a contact, you're going to adjust, make sure the limbs are in control, and pop. But again, this is where you're going to come into the outside opposite or inside same. More than likely, you're going to come into one of those as you're advancing. And when you do it, when you mix in your body feet, I mean, you're not really, I'm not saying you should be like in a street fight, it's going to look like, you're here. I'm not just turning my legs, I'm not stepping. I am turning each one of those, I am turning my whole body, using my whole body, or as they know in Tai Chi Chuan, I just learned this phrase the other day. It's called sung, when you sync up your body like that, right? Um, so I'm not just like stepping and wildly swinging my arms. I am shifting my entire body weight into those points. And if I contact you, I'm gonna lightly come up. I'm gonna lightly allow my feet to lighten and drop as soon as I do, and I'm gonna bridge and make sure I'm in control as soon as we make contact. Retreating is the complete opposite. And really quick before I move on for the advancing, there is this way where you're coming up in like a slight bow and you're coming out, but there's also times where I would use the wrist out. I don't always like this. People stand by this, but if somebody has a knife, why would you expose all of your tendons you need to make a fisted fight and all the veins to drip dry you? It doesn't make any sense. So in my opinion, it's good to train both, especially because if you end up on that inside opposite, I mean, this is a wonderful place to be in a street fight, no matter what you got to do from there. That's just wonderful. Eye pokes, ST9s all day long. You're just set up for glory. And God forbid you get on the outside like that. You're just got a whole canvas. And then retreating is the opposite. And again, guys, you're not looking for your retreating. They've expanded. You've decided to contract, and now you need to have some way of doing this. And you're going to come into more contact. Yeah, you're going to come in with inside opposite, but you're actually coming in contact more with outside opposite because you're getting ready for that like really quick thrust and or change for a double trap. Okay, so you're going to come in there. The only place this puts you at a real hindrance is, which obviously if you're going here and you see somebody coming in, you could easily adjust to a Pak Sao. You don't have to worry about going from this motion to this motion. Like, you're in a loose phase. All you have to do is fill the limb with blood pressure and sync up all the parts of your body. So as you're coming here, if you have to you're just going to go from here and just lock up. You have almost no blood pressure directing your upper limbs. You're shifting with your whole body, So once you're here, I mean, you would just adjust, and once you see the limb coming or you feel the limb, you're just going to drop all of your body weight and that reverse breath down at the same time that you're pivoting, and then of course you step in and boom, 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 boom. So that covers the 4 contact points: how to advance, how to retreat, um, where to look. So this is a really quick lesson. Wing Chun states you look at the back elbow, right? Because you can't, even if I'm in a orthodox stance, the quickest reach and snap I can do is a foot. I'm gonna either kick you in one of your testicles or your groin, or put my foot in your solar plexus. Either way, it's the fastest I can get to you from a distance. But no matter how fast your kick is, you have to shift your elbow. And once you've done enough pressure testing or contact drills to train your brain to react to those elbow movements, I used to have a great time sparring a Muay Thai instructor friend. I say friend loosely because he used to, make my face leak pretty good. He was a friend because he didn't hold back. You know what I'm saying? So there's that. Let's see, we covered it. And then of course Muay Thai says back hip. At least that's what he told me back in the day, that they do back hip. So I actually kind of like gaze at the back elbow hip area if I am like getting ready to engage and I'm not more focused on if I'm not doing something else. I mean, if I don't know what to do, that's what I'm doing. I'm staring in that space between the back elbow and back hip, waiting for a reaction so I can react. What did we cover? What I'm missing here? Where to look? We got 4 contact points: how to advance, how to retreat, where to look, how to turn. So we only have 2 left. We're almost there. How to turn. Now, this is something that I do naturally. All of these rules I'm able to do naturally because it's just part of how my body has adapted and trained from all the styles I've studied. But I personally choose to turn with a leg up into what you would understand as a Wing Chun stance. But it's not because it's a Wing Chun stance. It's because if I'm standing here and fighting a bunch of people and I got to turn this way really quick, you don't have time for a 2-person state, and you need to stop them now and or kick them now or strike them now. So as you're fighting, boom, 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 if you throw your hip, you're not even throwing your hip. I am literally turning my body as I'm tucking this hip back, allowing the knee to lift. So I'm more or less using my body mechanics to turn myself. I am not going like this, right? It's real simple. You're fighting a bunch of people, boom, 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 boom. Fighting a bunch of people, boom, 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 boom. If you're here, I don't know if I'm going to, check the foot, kick the knee, kick the groin, and then step in and strike. I don't know what I'm going to do. That's why I'm here. I don't know if I need to stop your progression. If I see a window to stop the fight with a kick or stop you as a fighter with a kick, I'll do that. If I need to step down, I've got maximum range to lunge and step forward with. But if I'm not going to step back, because if you're that close, I'm going to jam and kick you. Even if you're coming hard, I would try to jam and kick you and just allow myself to dig in the back foot and then just go from there, or follow you down to the ground, whatever you think you're going to do at that point. And the turning covers, I mean, you can turn like that past 90 degrees. I mean, I'm going whatever that would be. I'm not a degrees expert, 110, 120 degrees. So you don't have to just say like, oh, well, what do you do what if they're in your peripheral? Boom, you just spin harder, You're just going to spin and then step and strike down. Doing reverse, if somebody's coming behind you, there's a lot of things you can do. Obviously, after you move your head out of the way, I would kick back. Because at this point, there's 2 ways you can do this. You can go for the kick, because if they're committed, you're getting jumped. They're not, I'm going to run up and knock this guy out, and I'm going to be ready for that side kick. No, you're not. I'm either going to jam you, try to strike you, or I'm going to intentionally kick and go between your legs and let myself go under the punch and then come up with something terrible with full body weight. And again, very quick reaction. So up to like 120 degrees, you can very easily just push the hip back and allow your body mechanics to turn you for you. And then past that range, you're going to want to shove here for the strike, like a debilitating strike, always stay covered, and then kind of come out. And it doesn't have to be stylistic. I mean, you can step while you're sliding their punch at the same time. You're here, and then bam, and do like a nice double strike, get a nice groin slap, and a nose punch at the same time. There's a lot of options. Play with these things. See how you feel about that. So, honestly, I would encourage nobody to. I mean, since I've written these, I have not been jumped by 4 or more people, so I cannot tell you definitively how the back one works, but I do know that this, within training and pressure testing, has tested well. But the back kick, I mean, I'd have to be putting down 3 people at the same time while somebody's trying to turn my brain off from behind to see if that works, and hopefully that never happens. Again, this is just a good theory for how to simplify things for you. If you're getting jumped, obviously you want to get your back to it. This is my personal opinion. If you can't run away, there's no way to run away. You need to get your back to a wall, and even better if you can get your back into a corner. If you can find a small alleyway or something like a real tight alleyway, that's your best bet to fight off getting jumped if you can't run away. At least if you know your Southern styles or something really close range. Even American boxing, you'll be fine because only one can fight you at a time, and you can just put them down one at a time. So there's that. The ninth rule, I'm not going to do it, but I'll tell you what it is. You can either do a preemptive, like a kia, there's sounds you can make that can really elevate the nerves of a human being. So when somebody's already worked up, and I'm tired of hearing them run their mouth and I want them to swing now, I will either do a very loud single noise. Well, that's not entirely true. If they're posturing like they're trying to throw a lot of fakes, I'm going to throw out like there's like a monkey eagle sound I used to teach myself to throw people off, mid-strike if I could tell that they were unsure in their striking. But if you know that you're there and you just want to elevate things and get it over with, I do a very loud, long, high-pitched monkey screech. I don't care how strong you think your nerves are. If you're around a bunch of people in public about to fight me and I start screeching like a monkey as loud as I can, showing my teeth and raising my shin, you're going to feel it. And you're going to do one of two things. You're either going to get freaked out and walk away, or you're going to completely lose control over your emotions and swing on me, which is, I'm going for one of those options or the other. It's the reason I made the noise. But I'm not going to do it on here. Do your own research, do your own practice. If you want to see my ninth rule of martial engagement, attack me. You'll see it. Once I realize there's no way out of the fight and I have to do something to solve it, it's like my last ditch effort to either end it or get you to commit to whatever it is you think you're about to do. So, yep. So that's it. 9 rules of martial engagement. 4 contact points. Where to look. How to turn. How to advance. How to retreat. And then, of course, how to elevate nerves or set off nerves during a street fight. So that's what I have it. Those are what I think the most important things are, because those are those moments where you're going to be like, I don't know what to do. I don't know where to look. It's starting. Okay, I'm going to look here. I'm tired. My nerves are too worked. I can't handle this anymore. What do I do? I'm going to make one of the noises to elevate their emotional state and mental state to force a response. It gives you an answer to those things where you're going to be in a street fight and you don't know what to do. And your training, there's nothing wrong with your training as is, but you need faster reactions. Just like, we train in Wing Chun, you train your step, but it's very rare that we train it the way that it's going to be. In reality, you're more than likely going to be stepping around somebody because no one's going to fight you, especially if they know you're a fighter or can see you're a fighter. So that's why I made that video with the step around. A lot of these techniques have use in striking and fighting, but they're also used differently within society from the way that I see them in both self-defense and street fighting. So there you have it. That's what I came up with. I think I was 7 or 8 years into Kung Fu when I figured that out, and somewhere between 1 to 3 years into Filipino arts. So enjoy the video. If you're advanced, beginner, or intermediate, I just hope you enjoy the curriculum. If you have any questions, leave in the comment section. Thank you for your time, and thanks for stopping by. Peace and blessings.